And hello everybody, welcome back to the channel guys, hope you're all well. Before we do get into today's video, as always, please do smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for daily Rangers content. So guys, it is the day after, of course, our win against Sparta Prague yesterday, of course, beating them 2-1 at Ibrox in probably our best display of the season, but if not, in terms of the actual overall performance, the best performance I've seen in a very long time from a Rangers point of view. It really was reminiscent of our sort of performances in that Europa League run. It was a fantastic way of play, and of course we did get the 3 points after a really unbelievable first half especially, but just an overall good game in general, considering this was a side, we played them in Czech Republic a couple of weeks back, and it was a completely different game as we drew 0-0. We almost dominated throughout that match, and I know there is the home advantage as well, but in terms of that, it's sort of night and day compared to the sort of what the performance it was, and it just goes to show what Clement's doing at this moment in time. We're looking like a real well-oiled machine, and it is seriously scary that he has been through the door for a few weeks. I'm really optimistic to think what can happen going forward, what can happen in the future as well, if this is signs for things to come. But yeah, fantastic performance overall. Obviously, fans have taken to social media and expressed their sort of thoughts on the game as well. And obviously, to a man, I think everyone's sort of unanimous in terms of the actual collective performance from everybody, the starting 11 and on the bench, the fans in the stand. Was second to none, and actually I could probably go through the whole team and say something that was a serious positive about every single player from that Rangers starting 11 and the substitutes that came on and impacted it. But there's one man that is sort of taking headlines, if you like, and no, not necessarily playing the full 90, but just what he is doing and what he's capable of doing after his sort of cameo. You've sort of seen him come in over the last sort of couple of weeks, couple of games. He's playing 10 minutes here, 15 minutes here, but again last night, just being thrusted into the Europa League match against Sparta Prague, he looked unbelievable, and I had to sort of look at his player profile. This is of course McCausland, the 20-year-old Northern Irishman, and the fans are seriously in frenzy over his performances in recent games, but more in particular last night. You know, his composure on the ball, the way he carries it, very mature. He's not afraid to pick out a pass, and when he does pick out a pass, it's almost always the correct decision every single time, and it always meets the intended target. And this is something that I don't think we've got enough of in our squad, but certainly a player that's going to be absolutely amazing going forward. I have no doubt about it. I know that we have talked about youth over the last few years. We've talked about players coming into the setup and not really making that jump from the Rangers B team to the Rangers first team. But I certainly see a similar path of what Nathan Patterson does, and in actual impact itself coming into the actual team, Nathan Patterson was absolutely fantastic, but I'd see more in this McCausland going forward, and more of a positive note. So certainly one that could command a transfer fee going forward, but most importantly play an integral part within our team, and I would love to see him get some more game time as the sort of season goes on. But again, another match last night, and fans, as I said, can't stop talking about him, can't stop singing his plaudits, and yeah, fantastic to see for the young man. Let's see if he can bounce back in another game, start starting matches as well, and really show us what he's got. But fans seriously in frenzy on social media over his performances in particular. Not only that though, guys, Danilo is also getting a lot of praise as well. Obviously the start of the season, Michael Beale was kind of not really playing him. He was a player for me that was the most exciting signing that we pretty much made in the summer transfer window, coming from Feyenoord, just off the back of an Eredivisie title win, had an impressive goal stats. Comparing that to sort of Dessers, comparing that to Sam Lammers, he was the one that I was like, oh, this is an interesting striker. But at the start was very much eased into it. He kind of preferred other players, whether that be Kemar Roof, whether that be Cyril Dessers, whether that be Sam Lammers. But now Clement's come in, he started to play Danilo, and he's scoring in every single game. It feels like that he's playing. I think 6 starts, 6 goals. So that's not a bad going for Danilo. And as I said, hopefully his form can continue going forward as well. He was absolutely fantastic once again last night. But Another one that's slowly or quickly becoming a fan's favourite in and around Ibrox, which is also great to see. So, yeah, so many standout players yesterday. There was so many. Everyone played their part, as I stated, the starting 11. But just a special mention to those, of course, McCausland just coming off the bench, fantastic. Danilo again, really, really good. Ben Davies at the back, Jack Butland as well, fantastic. Barris, everybody. I'm thinking of every single individual played their part, and everyone can get standout appreciation from me, because it was a really, really solid performance, and I really want to see more of that going forward. Obviously, we've got a different test this weekend now. We've got Livingston before the international break, which it will end a really, really good period if we get 3 points against Livingston this weekend. Obviously, it's going to be on the synthetic park, and it's a place that we have not always struggled before, but can be a tough place. Livingston, of course, struggling at the moment, but a place that can sometimes be a bit of a hurdle, can be a bit of a tricky place to go, but certainly somewhere we want to go get 3 points this weekend, and hopefully not risk any players getting injured. However, having said that, we're going straight into the international break, as I state, and I always state that the third pretty much international break in what feels like two months is just around the corner. Another 2 weeks off. But in terms of this actual period where Clement actually came in, implemented his style of play, done all this sort of stuff, he's got pass marks, unbeaten for sure. Obviously, the only sort of black mark would be the draw against Sparta Prague. But even looking at that, it was a very, very, very good result. So if we can finish off this sort of period of games with a win against Livingston, I think we're going to be in a really, really good position going forward. So, yeah, really, really exciting times for us, really exciting moments, and I just can't wait for the next game. The next game, of course, being on the Sunday at the Tony Macaroni. And in terms of the thing, I think we got the early kickoff. Let me just confirm that 2 seconds. Obviously, I'll be live for that as well. But yeah, we've got the early kickoff. I think the 12 o'clock kickoff on the Sunday, of course, being live on Sky Sports. And currently at the moment, Livingston are pretty much struggling. They do sit in 11th place, 2 points above the relegation zone on 10 points. And then, of course, in terms of where we are, we do have a game in hand, of course, over Celtic, but do sit 8 points behind them. So we are going to be looking to maybe close that gap, eat away. And as I say, hopefully teams in and around us can help us out with the league table. But apart from that, everything's been a really, really good start for Felipe Clement, and the players are starting to like some of the players that was branding not good enough prior to the first international break, prior to Clement coming in. I saw us changing my mind a bit. I do think we do need to make more additions going forward, but Clement obviously getting the best out of some of these players. But yeah, that's all I've really got for you guys. I'm going to park that one up. As I said, I just wanted to take a look at the fan reaction from the game against Sparta Prague. Basically, your thoughts and opinions do matter to me. And as I said, a lot of fans in frenzy over, in particular, McCausland coming on for a cameo. Really, really excited to see what he can do going forward. But yeah, Rangers fans, do let me know your final thoughts down there in the comment section below. Make sure you hit the like button, and make sure you do subscribe to the channel as well for daily Rangers content. And I will see you all in the next video, guys. Take care. Peace.